Tonight, opposition NPP staged a charged protest in Sunyani, accusing the Mahama government of dangerous crackdown on free speech and a growing pattern of oppression against opposing views, following the arrest of two party officials, Abronye DC and Baba Amando.
On and on and on. Agenta Kumi was arrested. Why? People should not have their voice anymore. Are we not supposed to criticize when we think that there is the need for us to do so? Our major worry is that the president is departing from the role or the reason for which he was voted for massively by the Ghanaian people.
The party says the arrests violate rights as they demand a stop to what they describe as unwarranted arrests.
There is no freedom of expression, no freedom of speech. Even association is a problem. And we think that this is the time to call on the president to understand that there is a constitution governing this land. And so they need to stop the unwarranted arrest of our people.
We'll take you live to Sunyani and engage key political actors as tensions escalate over the matter. Here on Top Story, brought to you by Telecel Connecting Energies, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil. Enjoy Holy Sleep, and also by Shield Pension Trust into the future with you. My name is Samuel Kojo. Brace this is also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, on ATL 100.5 in Cape Coast, and on Radio Max in Takrady, and several of our affiliates across the country. Tonight, the opposition New Patriotic Party is seething with anger as hundreds of party supporters pour onto the streets of Bono Regional Capital, Sunyani, in a charged protest against what they describe as a deliberate and calculated attempt by the governing party to silence dissenting opposition voices. Now, the NPP insists that recent actions by state authorities point to a troubling and dangerous pattern. One, they say, is aimed at suppressing opposition voices and eroding democratic accountability. The protest follows the arrest of the Sunyani East Constituency Communications Officer Abubakar Yakubu, popularly known as Baba Amando, and the Bono Regional Chairman Kwame Bafo, also known as Abronye DC. Take a listen to some of the protesters today. So there you had the supporters there protesting on the street of Sunyani this morning. Now, speaking after the protest, Second Deputy Chief Whip of the minority in Parliament, Jerry Ahmed Shaib, described the government's conduct as a blatant violation of the fundamental rights of NPP members.
Issues of several duties by this regime. First of all, we have seen that they do not care about the basic fundamental human rights of our party people. There is no freedom of expression, no freedom of speech. Even association is a problem. And we think that this is the time to call on the president to understand that there is a constitution governing this land. And so they need to stop the unwarranted arrest of our people. I just gave a list of about 7 that comes to mind. Fanti Comedy was arrested, Abronye DC was arrested, Kofi Nkansa was arrested. Baba Amando has been arrested before. Obama Pokwasi was arrested. On and on and on. Adenta Kumi was arrested. Why? So that people should not have their voice anymore. Are we not supposed to criticize when we think that there is the need for us to do so? Our major worry is that the president is departing from the role or the reason for which he was voted for massively by the Ghanaian people. So people cannot talk. All we see is the weaponization of state institutions. Now, if it is not the judiciary, it's the security services. But all of us should take heed and take the main advice Nana Otumfuo gave us, that power is transient. We shouldn't be arrogant with power. We shouldn't be disrespecting the people that voted for us. We should understand that one day, wherever you are, you will not be there forever. Let us respect the Ghanaian people. Let us deliver.
He further accused the government of weaponizing state institutions, arguing that a campaign of harassment is being used to divert public attention from what he describes as failed promises and unmet expectations.
He promised them a lot of things. He promised them the 133, 24-hour economy. The little children in my house, they know that, oh, there's something called 24-hour economy. But there's nothing with reference to 24-hour economy. They are now asking the youth to go and do Indomie business. There is nothing with reference to the promise to stop Galamsey. If, to the extent that they even said that there was going to be a state of emergency on Galamsey. Now, when you come anywhere there are river bodies in the forest, there is unprecedented Galamsey. The health issues abound. This is what we are talking about. Bread and butter issues are becoming a problem. You have increased electricity by 28%. You have taken Dumso levy. You have also come back, and you are saying you have come back. But do you know what has come back? It's Dumso that has come back. We are seeing all of this, and we are saying that President Rama, please focus. Deliver. The Ghanaian people are waiting for you to deliver. You said you were going to deliver. Apart from Galamsey, who does Galamsey or who sells gold to make losses? It is only this government. They sold gold and they've made so much losses, 214 million losses as of September 2025. Now it's 7 billion Ghana losses. This is the kind of government we have. The policy of propaganda or policy of deception. Almost LGBTQ plus. Obviously, I mean, so we can't talk. Our democracy is becoming regressive. It's becoming a one-party state. Anytime you talk, it's either Yoko is going to come after you, or BNI is going to come after you, or they are going to force the police they are doing very professional job to come after you. Meanwhile, they are not even able to pay their usual rent. They are now taking about 20% of their original rent. What is happening? President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia started the 111, Agenda 111. They boycotted the construction of Agenda 111, and they are doing abobolas. And they said we shouldn't talk. Please, let us understand that this is the time to ask them to believe in the Constitution. They should stay away from the intimidation. We don't fear nobody apart from God.
So that's Jerry Ahmed Shaib there. He is Deputy Whip for the minority in Parliament. Before we hear from the political actors, let's go live now to Sunyani and speak with our Dome News correspondent, Christian Oforikuma, for the latest. Christian, we understand the Bono General Secretary of the NPP, Kofi Boateng, has also been speaking. What exactly has he been saying, and how strong was his message?
Yes, it's true that Kofi Boateng, the Bono Regional NPP Secretary, also spoke during the protesting in Sunyani, and he was also assuring the party supporters that they should keep on burning their candles, meaning they should keep on, working to be able to win power in 2028. He also described the police and cautioned them against, particularly Ghana police, against what is described as intimidation of the party supporters, while urging members to remain, law-abiding. And also he urged them to be united and committed to strengthen the party structure across the constituencies, and adding that by so doing, they will be able to, win the all the seats that NDC took over during 2024, and they will be claiming the party seats back in 2028.
Now, how's the situation in Sunyani after the protest today?
Okay, so the protesters, and the demonstration came to an end around 1 p.m. this afternoon, and due to the police presence, the demonstration went on well and very successful. There was no casualties or whatever that happened.
But how has the protest, impacted the life in Sunyani this evening as we speak to you? Is there still tension, or the situation is calmer now?
No, currently, most of the protesters came from communities surrounding Sunyani, meaning Sunyani East and Sunyani West. So today also happens to be that is the Sunyani market. So they disperse to their various communities, and business is also going on as usual. But there's heavy, traffic in town. As you know, people came around from different communities with their cars and so forth and so on. So there was a little bit of traffic congestion in town currently as I'm speaking with you.
All right, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. He is Xenophobic, the Adom correspondent for Sunyani. They're speaking to us. Let me now bring in Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Haruna Mohammed, who is joining us on the phone lines. Haruna, do I still have you? Haruna, do I have you? Okay, we are also expecting to be joined by Mustafa Gbande. He is Deputy General Secretary for the NDC as well. Do I have Mustafa? Do I have you? Haruna, are you there? Okay, we'll try and bring back Haruna and Mustafa Gbande to speak to on this particular development, where the NPP is accusing the NDC government of suppressing, freedom of speech. Yeah, on Top Story. Haruna is back on the line. Haruna, I'm grateful to you for joining us. But, as we do say, rights go with responsibilities. If you do this, by this demonstration you've done, are you not sort of telling your people that they have their rights and they can choose not to be responsible?
Thank you very much, Kojo. I believe that if you read the 1992 Constitution very carefully, we have rights and we have responsibilities. And every citizen of the Republic of Ghana, any public institution of law, and any office holder also has his right and responsibilities and the duties to perform to ensure that the democracy in Ghana that we all enjoy is sustained over time. And that is why today we have said that we are not going to observe silence or observe in silence as fear replaces freedom. And by dint of that, the new Patriotic Party in the Bono region today demonstrated to tell the whole world that the repeal of the criminal libel law has not been sustained by the current leadership of our state under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Intimidations all over, arrest of people in the name of political persecutions, and nothing comes out of that. We are calling on civil society and the international community to ensure that we protect the democracy that Ghana is enjoying. We all see that our neighboring countries and other countries in Africa are in flames. Such dangerous precedence does not come at once. It starts by this particular dangerous instances of the NDC government activities to curtail freedom of speech. And right so, if you say they have their right and they have their responsibility, the state agencies also have right and responsibility and limitations as to what they are to do. And that is why the court of law is there, and that is why we have enshrined in the Constitution and other workable documents of state as to how we handle such matters. So we have not infringed on any right. We are exercising our own right as enshrined in the Constitution, and that is exactly the new Patriotic Party is doing. and we vehemently oppose the activities or anti-activities of government that is to the detriment of free speech, and we would not allow this to happen.
So what's next after this demonstration in Sunyani?
We have clearly indicated and submitted a petition through the regional minister to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana. We have made several demands in this particular petition, and we call on the President to safeguard the free speech and the constitutional right of all Ghanaians. We also ask them to end the intimidation, harassment, and selective justice as they have been doing. We have also asked them to enhance tolerance for criticism and also accept dissenting views from people that are not in their party. We've also asked for them to ensure that there is concrete measures to address youth employment, issues of standard of living, issues of rent, issues of tax, issues that matter to the state. Farmers are crying. Cocoa farmers are crying. Just this week, cashew has reduced from 25 Ghana cedis to 8 cedis. That is what we have to look at. Fees are increasing. Infrastructure is not there. Roads are supposed to be constructed. The Agenda 11 hospitals are supposed to be continued and completed. These are the matters that they are supposed to arrest, not the citizens of the state. And the NPP is standing on a local platform to call on the president not to renege on his promises. He has to stay on the course and ensure that he works for the betterment of the people of Ghana, and not to go about arresting people here and there, not to go about persecuting people here and there, and come back to be dismantling corruption-related institutions that would have been fighting and which they benefited from when they were in opposition. So these are the issues that we want the president to look at and stop those particular political persecutions.
Let me bring in Mustafa Gbande, who is Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Mustafa, now, I mean, why trying to, gag people from expressing their views on issues that they feel they have to?
Well, I think that I've been listening to my brother, and first of all, let me state that if there is anything to talk about, the NDC and its government find ourselves on the trajectory where we have been accused by the larger portion of our people in this country that we are pampering the NPP, that we are tolerating their ills and their misconduct, that we are overly tolerating their destructive tendencies and obstructionist behavior. That, for me, is not democracy. We are not building a banana republic. We are in a country where we have full rigors of rules of law. And one would demand and expect that we have citizens that respect each and everyone's right, observing limitations that their liberties or their freedoms, will stop at. Apart from the fact that the government has a duty to build hospitals and to build roads, it is also a fundamental responsibility of every government to ensure that its citizens behave responsibly, that its citizens behave in a manner that does not jeopardize the public order of this country and the national security of this country. To the largest extent, one would have to be responsible for what we say and what we do not say. The MPP's demonstration today clearly is to tell all of us that if anybody goes and steals a goat, if you are MPP and the police arrest that person, it means that there is no rule of law. That if you go and make commentaries that are offensive and offend our laws, and even the court is dealing with you and you are MPP, what it means is that there's no rule of law. It tells you the caliber, the type of people they are, their mindset in terms of what they do and how they exhibit their actions. Now, let me say this, that the Sunyani situation that they've mobilized themselves from Accra to go and demonstrate today.
When we spoke to our reporter, he didn't mention of Accra. He spoke of surrounding communities in Sunyani.
Come again?
I said our reporter indicated that the people came from the surrounding communities in Sunyani, not Accra.
Of course, MPP members will come. The MPP didn't go to opposition because of how much demonstrations the NDC organized. They are in opposition for their bad behaviors, their unpatriotic behaviors, how much corruption they demonstrated, how much mismanagement they demonstrated, how they abused and wasted this country. That is why Ghanaians are on the neck of this government to prosecute them.
No, but we are not talking prosecution. We are talking about you arresting people for expressing their views.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that we are talking about you, your government, arresting people for expressing their views. Something the NPP, deem it as being against their fundamental human right of having, freedom of speech.
Is it for you and I to determine what constitutes a legal comment and non-legal comment? Is it not a court of law that we should collapse all the laws because some group of people find themselves around an organization called NPP and are being obstructionist and undermine? They say everything they want. Let me tell Muhammad, even if himself goes to say anything that offends the law, the laws will deal with him. The MPP can organize demonstrations in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. The mere fact that today, under President Mahama, they can organize demonstrations and press conferences and go back to their homes and sleep means that there's a reasonable president in place, means that there's a responsible government in place. Under President Akufo-Addo, your own younger brother, Bongo Ideas, when he made a comment against President Akufo-Addo, they sent tags to beat him up. Was it not?
But was that, did that come out as being the state arresting him? Was that the case?
What did you say?
I'm asking, was that confirmed as the state being the one that picked the guy up?
Which guy?
You mentioned Bongo Ideas, not so.
But a group of people catch him and beat him. You don't know?
I know, but is that the state?
That
You're saying that was
he accused the president, a group of people should beat him, and that is lawful?
It is not.
That we sat in this country and watch that horror movie, and today these obstructionists of people are on the street misbehaving left, right, and center and lying every day, and nobody is minding them because we have a nation to build. The nation they have destroyed, the problems they have created. A government is trying to solve those problems, and they are being obstructionist and they are being tolerated, and the same people are complaining that they are gagging them, that anybody that goes and misbehave, the mere fact that you are MPP, the law should not deal with you, and that we are building a country that will live to the next generation. A responsible country like Ghana should be reduced to this kind of games because MPP is in opposition. Is that what we are advocating for?
Okay. Let me bring back Haruna. So, I mean, if you listen to Bandit closely, his point is about the fact that the law is the one taking its course. And once it's a law, we're all under the rule of law. Why not allow the process to run, but to be saying that that's the government gagging free speech?
Hello? Kojo, are you asking me or you are asking
this is to you, Haruna.
the propaganda?
Haruna, it's to you. And no one is doing
okay.
Well,
thank you very much, Kojo. I'm happy that my brother is realizing today that we are not building a banana republic. And yesterday we were not building a pawpaw republic. Let me also remind him that yesterday he insulted everybody in this country recklessly. Mustafa Bandi, he insulted people in this country. Yesterday, you sat down and said, Nanado's house, they have done galamsey after his bedroom. You sat down in this country. These were the things.
And I never said that anywhere. I said Nanado's fence wall got broken because of galamsey.
I am telling you,
go to Chebi. That report is there. Go to Chebi police station.
Quiet, please. If your mouth is full and you think you cannot keep quiet, swallow what you have.
Go to Chebi police station.
Bande, please allow him to land. I'll give you time.
Again, just listen to me. You see, the NDC is a clear opposite of what we know in rule of law. What does the NDC know about law? How many lawyers do you have? A socialist party that doesn't believe in competition. A socialist party that doesn't believe in any activities that can affect the people positively. We are talking about law, that you are following the law. So you think that the law can work in the daytime and then also stop working in the night. When your own friend, the national organizer of your party, and the vice chairman was referred, have corrected them? Have they been taken through the true rigors of the law? You are telling us that even me, Mustafa, let me tell you, I cannot be intimidated. I cannot be proud. Stop. No, I'm just telling you, my brother, please. You know where I came from. I'm from Zabzugu, and I'm very proud of where I come from. I cannot be intimidated to keep quiet. Okay? So don't say even me. I have the right to speak, and I have the right to respond to whatever would have to be done. And I'm telling you that the NDC will see its worst days as they continue not to implement the activities that they have promised the people of Ghana.
What exactly do you mean by that?
We are going to continue. We are going to speak. We are going to reveal everything to the people of Ghana. And that is the responsibility that we are going to do. Those your intimidation tactics and all those things, please, you can stop it. Those things that you go to tell your party people and then what you promise that you don't do, please continue to be doing that. But don't bring it to the doorsteps of the NPP.
I'm grateful to you.
I'm from Katala, I'm from Dabzugu.
I'm grateful.
We know each other very well.
I'm grateful to you.
That platform to say, even me, I cannot be threatened.
Haruna Mohammed is Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. Mustafa, I mean, the issue is about free speech here. Now, the guy was remanded into police custody for 3 days. For what? Just expressing his opinion on social media.
I'm not a PRO for the judicial service, but I only know that under the circumstances, if you were accused of a wrongdoing and you were taken to court, and the court is exercising its functions, that is within the context of the rule of law. Of course, you have heard Mohammed jump from that issue to governance issues to Galamsey issues. So it presupposes that there is no particular reason why the NPP have gone to demonstrate today, other than that one. They think that that is how to revive their party too. They think that the noise will obstruct the courts and the police from doing their work. But
you're not bothered by Ghanaians saying that there is an attempt to suppress free speech?
Ghanaians, which Ghanaians? This is NPP people making noise
but
because they are trying to cover up on their wrongs. They think that the law will catch up with them. Is the NPP honestly believing that if President Mahama was a president who, as it were, if he is not geared towards growth and he wants to pursue vigorously the NPP, they think that they will still have the opportunity to be speaking? Do they honestly feel that all the people of Ghana who believe that we are being too lenient with them, they don't believe that there was some wrongdoing in the last 8 years such that they should be pursued? So all this obstruction is to cover up on accountability, is to ensure that when the law is going after them, but of course, if you have found to have stolen state money, a party will not be organized for you.
That you have to go to court on that. Mr. Fagbande is Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, and that's our wrap-up top story. Up next is Newsnight. And tonight, Association of Ghana Industries warns of job losses as power cuts hit factories and erratic supply disrupts production and drives up cost. But the regulator, PURC, insists the situation is temporary and under control.
Also tonight, Minority in Parliament warns the Ghana Medical Trust Fund could collapse without a clear and sustainable financing plan, describing the initiative as being built on a shaky financial foundation and demanding the government urgently outlines a credible long-term funding framework.
They are talking about donations, and for a country like Ghana, we do not have to make our health lives depend on donations.
More as they accuse President Mahama and his administration of failing to address the critical needs of Ghanaians and the health sector.
Also coming up, South African government promises full-scale investigation into recent xenophobic attacks in the country that has left one Ghanaian injured.
We are tired of seeing African migrants moving all over the world, refusing to fix your own countries. Now we're making it very clear to you guys, we don't want you here. We want you to fix your countries.
We hear from Ghanaians living in South Africa as they narrate the harrowing experiences of some Ghanaians, particularly those living in KwaZulu-Natal.
Whenever that they want to cause a riot, that is what they use. Foreigners are taking their job, foreigners are taking their women. But that is not the case. We employ them. It's another problem.
In business,
some financial analysts cast doubt Ghana's debt to GDP will rise to 53% by end of year as predicted by the IMF. We'll hear from Nelson Kujo of Melbourne's capital.
In sports,
Chelsea sacked Liam Rosinho after just 3 months in charge of the club.
And a bit later, National Petroleum Authority moves to merge fuel margins as it redirects bust cash to new petroleum infrastructure fund.
Tries to commingle both the PDM and the UPPF and now what is called the distribution fund to place about $80 per every metric ton of LPG.
We have details plus the position of the Energy Committee on the matter.
That as soon as the draft is finished, this committee would like to have the first hand. We want to do a draft preview. If you want it to move fast, we'll have what we call a prelim. We'll look at it, agree in principle.
The latest of these and many other stories are coming up in the next 60 minutes. You can be a part of this show by sending us a WhatsApp on 055 11 11 997. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
My name is Gemma. Appiah.
Details after this.
There are many reasons to connect, and it's all to put smiles on the faces of those you love.
Daddy, thanks for the tea cash, okay? I love you.
That's my daughter, Angela. Caring for my parents, that's my duty. I also get to pay my utility bills easily with Telecel Cash. And to the suppliers at my shop,
hello, sir. Telecel Cash payment received right on time. Thank you.
I get to make them smile because I can pay to my suppliers' merchant numbers, even on other networks directly. My dear ones, we keep the connection stronger when our family, friends, and business relations are happy. Live on cash, enjoy convenience, and make those who matter smile when you send them money with Telecel Cash.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me down my dark with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Dana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
Because the wet ones, not because we love the water, but because the water never lets us go.
This May, in celebrating Arise 2026 International Justice Mission in partnership with Image Bureau, April Communications and the National Theatre presents The Wet Ones, a story of pain, ignorance, deception, mystery, and struggle. For one day only, catch this theatrical masterpiece on Saturday, 2nd May at 4 p.m. at the National Theatre. The Wet Ones. Register for your free invite at www.imagebureaugh.com or visit IJM Ghana on Facebook, IG, and X. The Wet Ones. Directed by Derek Sawano. Saturday, 2nd May at 4 p.m. only at the National Theatre. Supported by Niplant Car Rentals, Graphic Communications Group, Joy FM, Hit FM, Joy Prime TV, and proudly brought to you by International Justice Mission.
You're welcome to News Night. Tonight, the minority in Parliament is demanding clarity on the financing of the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, warning the initiative risks collapse without a sustainable funding framework. The concerns emerged during a stakeholder engagement between managers of the fund and Parliament's Select Committee on Health. Former Deputy Health Minister and Deputy Ranking Member on the committee, Alexander Akwesiakwa, says government must come clean on how it intends to finance the initiative long term.
We'll hear from him shortly, but first, listen to Ghana Medical Trust Fund Dr. Norbert Skipo, who says the program will institute a flat tariff for health delivery. He has been explaining what has been done since the project was first launched.
We expended in excess of 4 million in just managing 50 patients who are to go through open heart surgeries, brain surgeries, orthopedic surgeries, chemotherapy, radiation therapy for cancers. And it just lets us know the cost involved in managing patients comprehensively, from diagnostics to the treatment to follow-up care and the rest. It's very expensive, and this is what we are doing. So far, we have developed an IT platform that would help in patient onboarding, that will help in monitoring the treatment of patients, claim submissions and reimbursements, which we are installing in the various facilities. So far, we've installed in about 8 of our enlisted hospitals, all the teaching hospitals, and we are now doing the regional hospitals and the other hospitals that have been enlisted. We have developed a standardized tariff system using the billing structure of the various hospitals to arrive at averages that are beneficial to the service provider and also beneficial to the health financing institution, and very importantly reflects the actual cost of care on the ground. We have updated the standards treatment guideline on cancers, which is the benefits package approved by our board of trustees.
But the minority says it still remains unconvinced. Alexander Akwesiakwa argues that the proposed 20% allocation from the NHIA budget coupled with donations will not be enough to sustain the program.
If I've had any occasion of criticizing the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, it's all about the funding. It's all about the funding. And lo and behold, the health policy advisor also talked about funding, the need for us to expand the funding to make it quite realistic. If we want to continue depending on the 20% of the NHIA budget, which is not substantial enough to even cater for NHIA, then the brilliant ideas that are associated with this medical trust fund will not be realized. And so he talked about donations and all that. I mean, I'm not sure we can put our lives, our health lives, on donations. And so if we want to look at sustainability levy or some other levies that would help enhance the economic fortunes of the trust fund, so be it. We need to find a way of sustaining the financial backbone of the fund.
That's the former Deputy Health Minister Alexander Akwesiakwa. Stephen Mensah is joining me in the studio with more on this. Stephen, the minority is also raising concerns about the non-completion of Agenda 111 health projects. What exactly are they saying?
Well, the minority argues that government has not shown enough commitment to completing the Agenda 111 hospitals, which they believe are critical to improving healthcare access across the country. Well, they acknowledge that the Agenda 111 project was a bit ambitious, but they insist the work started is critical for healthcare delivery across the country. We can listen to the former Deputy Minister for Health, Alexander Akwesiakwa, once again.
The fact that government is not committed to the completion of the Agenda 111, every intervention that this government is doing as far as the health spectrum is concerned depends on accessibility. And accessibility is going to be improved by these Agenda 111 projects. I mean, if government is pumping money to have 24-hour markets throughout Ghana, in every district, with so much money, building from the scratch, why won't government use those monies to finish the various Agenda 111 in the various districts, as the Domahene stated, as the ex-president has pleaded, and all of us are mentioning that, look, that was an over-ambitious project from our government. We could not finish, but we've started. Some are at various ranges, and it behoves on this government to complete it, so that at least we can have practical primary health care. Because if you call it free and people don't have access, where do you get the care from?
And Stephen, beyond infrastructure, they've also been critical of the broader handling of the health sector under the Mahama administration.
Yes, so the deputy ranking on the Parliament Select Committee on Health, he has been describing the healthcare sector as substandard, and he has been criticizing some flagship initiatives, including the free primary healthcare agenda. We can listen to him once again.
I think that is substandard. I would say it's substandard. It's substandard because, you see, health is an area where you need results. It is not about talking. You don't need to be talking. You need practicals. You need to make sure every intervention that you do affects the lives of the people directly. If you check all the major interventions that have been done under this government, as far as health is concerned, it is more like a charade. You know, you do not see the reality. I mean, the launch of the free primary healthcare has attracted a lot of criticisms. I mean, it's quite laughable. I mean, even though the intents and purposes are good, but the implementation, you know.
We've also been hearing from the majority.
Yes, the chairman of the Health Committee, Mark Nawani, he has been strongly disagreeing with the minority's assessment. He insists that significant progress is being made in the health sector. In fact, he reiterates that 30 healthcare facilities have been enrolled under the Mahama Care initiative, and they are expected to provide quality emergency and specialized services to Ghanaians. We can listen to him.
About 30 facilities have been enrolled on the Mahama Care, and all of them will be highly qualified to give services, emergency services to Ghanaians. And so the days that only Kolebu, Rich, or police hospital will soon be a thing of the past. Now we are getting the Bank of Ghana Hospital, the Maritime Hospital, the University of Ghana Medical Center, and other facilities to provide a highly qualified, specialized medical care in the country. And they are all going to provide beds. And so all that we need to do is to coordinate and know where there are empty beds. It's going to be a thing of the past very soon. Some of the regional hospitals are being asked to start, and eventually all these 30 facilities that have been accredited will start working, and the whole country will start feeling the presence of Mahama Care in our lives.
Chairman of Parliament Select Committee on Health, Mark Nawani, there. He joins us on the phone line with more. Thank you so much for joining us on News 9. The minority says your government is failing to deliver efficient and quality health care.
Well, let me say good evening to the listeners of your station. I don't know what they mean by qualified healthcare to Ghanaians. We are not only talking, but we are implementing programs and projects that will eventually turn the whole Ghana system, make it more resilient, and provide the health security that we all need and have been talking about. If you look at the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, it was a whole gray area that was there, and we left it to who I don't know, said that we always explain the death of people with witches and wizards. We explain it with somebody killing somebody. We explain the death of people by being of old age. But now we have an establishment, the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, that is expected to track the complications of non-communicable disease that currently cause about 45% of mortality, and is even expected to rise as we approach a middle-income country. And of course, we are aging. We should therefore,
Mr.
Be
Nawani,
very
I think that the concern is the funding framework of the Ghana Medical Trust Fund program. The minority is raising concerns there. They say what we have now is not sustainable through donations and the NHIA budget. What happens if donations don't come in?
Please, we have to start from somewhere. And when we assume government, we uncapped the NHIA and made an extra funds available by about 15%. Apart from uncapping NHIA, we make sure that the funds that are collected in the name of the sick and the maimed was used for the purpose. We did not misappropriate the NHIA funds. And so we had an extra funds of, in fact, over 15%, but it was even more than that, to start the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, which we clearly fund with 20% of the NHIA. As we speak now, today when we went over there, they informed us how a lot of international organizations have expressed interest. The Carter Foundation has expressed interest to assist the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. And even individual Ghanaians are working in to donate money towards the running of this program. And so, yes, we started, but we are still thinking about how we can rig in more money for the running of the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. I mean, we are still recently, we met the finance committee and some advocacy group on the use of on taxes on alcohol, cigarettes, and sugar, etc. If some of these things that really affect the outcomes of non-communicable disease are taxed, and we use the income to support what we have started, I believe that will definitely make it sustainable.
Thank you very much. Chairman of Parliament's Select Committee on Health, Mark Kurt Nawani there.
Major changes are coming to how fuel prices are built. The National Petroleum Authority is pushing a new bill to merge key margins at the pump, including the primary distribution margin. The bill also redirects the bust margin into a new petroleum infrastructure fund. Here's the Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, Eduji Tamaklo, outlining plans to the Energy Committee during a field visit to the authority.
The wisdom of the forebears, let me say, they introduced what is known as the uniform pricing into the NPA Act, which allows the cost of freight to be absorbed by way of a cross-subsidy. So, quote unquote, those here will be subsidizing more or less for those that you move northern. And so over the period, the authority for the past 20 years plus has been implementing the UPPF as a subsidy mechanism in order that the true impact of freight costs is not transferred to our people. So that is a major thing that the authority supervises. I've noticed that in the new NPA, the bill, I usually call it the NAPO bill, it tries to bring two things together, the UPPF and the PDM. PDM simply means the depot-to-depot transfer. It also comes with a cost. We absorb that cost through the PDM, that's the primary distribution margin. Now, the bill that will be laid before Parliament soon after consultation tries to commingle both the PDM and the UPPF and now what is called the distribution fund. Then the bust margin, among others, will go into what is now known as the infrastructure fund. So the bill that is under consideration in terms of stakeholder engagement will now be establishing these two funds.
He says the new bill has become important to tackle the evolving challenges of Ghana's petroleum sector.
It is often said that Parliament cannot gaze so much into the future. So 20 years after the enactment of the NPA Act in 2005, it will become necessary for us to catch up with industry growth, industry perspective, and the new evolving matters that are coming up. We, as the National Petroleum Authority, strongly believe in the vision that we have to be the catalyst for economic transformation and growth. Our mission is to regulate, oversee, monitor the petroleum downstream industry in Ghana for efficiency, growth, and stakeholder satisfaction.
James Aveji is with the team. He has been all day and is joining me on the telephone lines with more. James, has there been any reaction from the committee to this yet?
Yes, Ken. The chairman of the Energy Committee, Emmanuel Kwesi-Bajra, says that because this bill looks quite an important bill to address these challenges, the committee would want to, first of all, have a look at it after the drafting, even before it is presented to Parliament for the first time, and further refer to them in order to agree on some consensus before it becomes a full-blown debate in Parliament.
Your bill that will come in, I mean, the minister has intimated that there will be a bill to whether we are amending the act that you already have, or we are completely bringing a new bill to. And so that will also be coming to the committee, which means we'll be working together. But let me ask that CEO that as soon as the draft is finished, this committee, your bill that will be coming, I mean, the minister has intimated that there will be a bill to whether we are amending the act that you already have, or we are completely bringing a new bill to. And so that will also be coming to the committee, which means we'll be working together. But let me ask that CEO that as soon as the draft is finished, this committee would like to have a first hand, we want to do a draft preview. If you want it to move fast, we'll have what we call a prelim. We'll look at it, agree in principle before it's late. So we want to engage you further on that.
Eduji Tamaklo is on the telephone lines right now. He's the CEO of NPA. Mr. Tamaklo, welcome to the program. This new bill proposal, which is seeking to merge key fuel price margins, can you guarantee that this will not lead to higher price at the pumps for consumers? We have unfortunately lost Eduji Tamaklo on the line there. Right, but still on that particular story, we've also been hearing from the committee on the storage facilities in the Western region. Let's listen.
15 million liters. The whole of the West. But where are the major mines? It's in the West. You don't have storage. We have a jetty in Takoradi. The draft is better than what we have in Tema, meaning that you can take 65,000 metric ton vessels in Takoradi. But when the vessels go there, where will be the storage? And so bigger vessels can go there, but there's no storage. And so they are all forced to be in Tema. And the associated problem is that, and Honorable knows this, we have a conventional buoy mooring facility, the CBM in Tema. Honorable, do you know when it was built? 2004. At the time it was built, our total national consumption was 1.5 million metric tons of refined product. Honorable, do you know how much we are doing now? Almost 6 million metric tons annually. But in the same discharge facility, nothing has been done And so now the conversation we are having together with Cabinet is the possibility of building a second CBM that would allow us to move the product better. And because we have only one CBM, when the product even comes, there's delay in discharge. And so I can tell you that, Honorable, they are the major issues that we are having.
Right, let's bring in the CEO of NPA, Eduji Tamaklo. Welcome to the program. I was asking you earlier, this new bill proposal that you are proposing to merge key fuel margins. Can you guarantee that this will not lead to higher prices at the pumps for consumers? Hello, Mr. Tamaklo, can you hear me? We have unfortunately lost him on the telephone lines. There, you're still listening to News Now here on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra and our numerous affiliates across the country. You can be a part of the show by sending us a WhatsApp on 055 1111 997. Let's take you to South Africa now, because the South African government has promised a full-scale investigation into the recent xenophobic attacks in the country. There are reports of protest against other African nationals in parts of South Africa, raising fears of a repeat of the deadly 2015 xenophobic attacks that hit many Ghanaians. Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa in a statement said one Ghanaian who was caught up in the attack has been located and recovering and also receiving consular services. We'll hear from the minister shortly, but first let's take a listen to some of the comments from some South Africans to Ghanaians.
We are tired of seeing African migrants. We are tired of seeing African migrants moving all over the world, refusing to fix your own countries. Now we're making it very clear to you guys, we don't want you here. We want you to fix your countries. Now you came here with a traveling document. You came with a passport. You know that you are a visitor, but now you decided to come and integrate in our communities. You know very well that what you have done is wrong.
How many children do you have here?
We can come to Ghana and do what you're doing.
Passport.
Eh? Now you are carrying a bucket. It's 11 a.m. You were supposed to be fighting the government of Ghana there to ensure that they are getting things right.
No, there's no fight in Ghana. You must fight once a day.
Where's your papers? Passport. Passport.
Where's the passport?
Take it out.
Let me see your passport.
So those are some South African nationals who are neither immigration officers or police officers questioning a Ghanaian, asking of where his passport is. And we've been getting some response from Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa. And Gemma, you've been going through that particular statement. What is he saying?
So the minister says he called his counterparts in South Africa on the trending videos, the videos we've all seen about Ghanaians and other African nationals coming under attacks in South Africa. And the South African minister expressed his empathy with the victims and promised to launch a full-scale investigations into the attacks. Since the attacks are not just against Ghanaians but other African nationals, the South African government was going to hold a briefing with African ambassadors later today on the matter. The man we saw in the viral video who was being hit with a stake, his head was pushed against the wall. You saw that abuse towards that man. He was subjected to severe beatings. That man has been identified and being offered consular services according to the minister. And no Ghanaian, the minister says, has died from these attacks. And he's assuring Ghanaians that President Mahama's government will ensure that the safety of all Ghanaians, both home and abroad, are protected.
And earlier today on the Pulse on Joy News, I spoke to some Ghanaians living in South Africa, and Michael Ishan is one of them. He has been given an account of the experiences of Ghanaians in that particular country.
South African laws protect them a lot. So you as a foreigner, when some such things happen and then you report, it doesn't get to anywhere. It doesn't get to anywhere.
Right. Many Ghanaians have businesses there, including yourself. How is this situation affecting your businesses?
You know, when they start this, they don't attack the shops, the businesses in their shopping malls, shopping centers. They don't do that. They only target the shops that are outside, the shops that are on the street.
Why do they do that?
I target the ones on the street is easy to be attacked, but the ones in the shopping centers and the shopping malls is very difficult because immediately they comes there, they call the police. There's a security, so the security there for the shopping malls is highly protected. But the shops on the street is not really protected. No.
Why is that? And are these shops mainly owned by foreigners, Ghanaians included?
Yes, mostly salons, so many shops, the Ethiopians, the Bangladesh, so many.
Have you heard from Ghana's High Commissioner to South Africa engage Ghanaian community in South Africa on this matter?
Yes, for now, I think this thing happened, yesterday or a day before. So we haven't, he hasn't come out to address it, or I haven't heard anything for now.
Do you know anybody who has been personally attacked due to these resentment for foreign nationals, particularly Africans in South Africa?
For now, no, I haven't.
Have you yourself ever been attacked?
No.
So why has this become so rampant, and which region in the country would you say this is very rampant and common?
KwaZulu-Natal, which is Durban.
That has quite a huge black South African population, right?
Yes.
And what kind of jobs are available for local South Africans in KwaZulu-Natal that they say that foreign nationals are taking away from them? What kind of jobs do the nationals do?
You know, this is a very big problem here in South Africa. Whenever that they want to cause a riot, that is what they use. Foreigners are taking their job, foreigners are taking their women. But that's not the case. If you want, even when we employ them, it's another problem. When it's weekend, they don't even come to work. So yes, as foreigners, though we are employing them, but they don't take the work that we employ them seriously.
Well, international relations experts also want urgent action from the AU and ECOWAS to protect migrants and stop retaliation. Vladimir Nchidanso says the situation needs urgent diplomatic engagement and coordinated action.
The history of South Africa is one of violence, black on black, black on white, white on black. And therefore, incidents like this cannot be news to anybody else. At the least prompt, at the least provocation, it would turn into some kind of rioting, some kind of attacks, etc., etc. A few years back, we had it so bad that the whole world had to talk about it. The South African government had to take measures. Whole communities were burnt to ashes, especially the Nigerian communities. So when I heard this, I wasn't very much surprised. We need to put pressure through diplomacy on the South African government for institutions of state to work as they should, according to the remit of their constitution, because this cannot go on. The repercussions are that there is a possibility that other countries, without prompt, would retaliate. Nigeria retaliated. We need just to demand accountability, to demand that the culprits be brought to book, and expectations that it will not happen again. We can't send troops. We can't just be angry and send troops or retaliate for that matter. The government must be working on it by now.
Right, let's hear from you. Have you ever been caught in a xenophobic attack in South Africa, or do you know of any relation or family who has ever been caught in xenophobic attacks in South Africa? The number is 055 11 11 997. Let's do business.
Now, coming up in business, some financial analysts cast doubt Ghana's debt to GDP ratio will rise to 53% by end of year, as predicted by the IMF. We hear from Nelson Kojo Gwagwiji of Melbourne Capital, and stakeholders in insurance industry begin discussions on a possible cybersecurity insurance product. The business news on News 9 is brought to you by MTN, Kingdom Books and Stationery, Centers Tanks, and Pepsodent, Charcoal and Herbal.
Charlie, trim I'm nice. I get some serious meeting. Allah, motion. But Charlie, no credit today. Oh, but you relax. Momo day.
Hey, what
Yes, so I borrow small, sort myself out, I pay back, we move.
Spoil there. Ah, Charlie, you sure say you dey pay back?
Yes, so that anytime somebody else they need them, Momo day.
Be like I for can't borrow some more.
Hey, you this boy. Don't go there and disgrace yourself.
Allah motion.
Responsible borrowing be the real flex for today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. Borrow, sort them, pay back. Momo day.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office,
Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Temania Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank,
Atomic Center Point Mall,
Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
Cast your mind back to 2022. The prices were rising. The stress was high. Every liter of fuel felt like a sacrifice. Do you remember who stepped forward first? When others were comfortable with high prices, Star Oil chose you. We cut our own profits so you could keep your AC on, keep your engines running, and keep your life moving without the heavy burden. We gave you room to breathe when things felt tight. Because of you, our star savers, we became #1. Today, the pumps are a battleground. Others are finally cutting prices because they have to. But Star Oil, we do it because we want to. Don't just chase a price, remember a friendship. We were there for you then, and with new innovations coming your way, we are here for you now. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
If you want quality, this be where you belong. Hey, tough, hey, strong. Oh, gonna shout and sing the song. When the sun they hot, syntax no break when the rain they fall. Still no shake. Builders they choose and plumbers they prove. Any project you they start.
Sasso, si come tonton prepon. Sasso, si come tonton prepon. Edrana drami ne buseshe. Yeah, how can see our malaria? Minya me pone me sasso spray. Every mosquito study run away. Come on, tonton prepon. Sasso, mi se come tonton prepon. Come on, tonton prepon. Sasso, come tonton prepon. Nani sham ne die e demo strong kon.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome to the business news on News 9, brought to you by MTN, Kingdom Books and Stationery, Centers Thanks, and Pepsodent, Charcoal and Herbal. My name is Winston Taki, and now let's settle for the details. Some analysts have cast doubt that Ghana's debt-to-GDP ratio will rise to 53% by the end of 2026, up from 45.3% recorded in 2025, as projected by the International Monetary Fund. The projection was contained in the IMF's Fiscal Monitor report released on the sidelines of the 2026 spring meetings of the IMF and World Bank in Washington, D.C. Reacting to the forecast, Head of Finance at Melbourne Capital, Kojo said current indicators and projections cannot support a rise in debt-to-GDP ratio above 50%.
Basis for this projection. They only mentioned that the projection was based on post-budget restructuring scenario. So it will be very difficult at this moment to actually, know the exact factors that may push the debt stock to about 53%. In any case, the whole of this year, government has borrowed about 104 billion Ghana cedis from the money market, the treasury bill market, coupled with the 2.7 billion Ghana cedis that they raised in the bond market. So from where we sit and looking at the tone and the posture and attitude of government, we think that we may not hit the 53% as being projected by the IMF.
That was the Head of Finance at Melbourne Capital, Kojo. Moving on, stakeholders in the insurance industry sector have begun conversations to get product developed around cybersecurity to protect the digital space. The move is to ensure businesses operating online are safeguarded in this unlikely event of a cyber attack. Here's William Wood of Wood and Associate Insurance Brokers speaking on the panel discussion at the first insurance roundtable organized by the Chamber of Commerce and Industries, France, Ghana.
The multinationals and the large organizations understand what cybersecurity is. When you dump it down and bring it down to your middle level, to your low level, there's no understanding of cybersecurity. Do I believe that the market is ready? Yes. As Shaibu said, we can get insurance even for a spacecraft. But is the market ready to look at the local conditions? Are all the players ready to play their part? Because again, millions are lost. Over 23.3 million was lost as reported by the BOG. And this is what has been reported. So imagine the other cases that have not been reported where we'll be able to actually understand the holistic view of our market.
William Wood is an insurance broker with the Wood and Associate Insurance Brokers. Moving on, the Petroleum Holdings PLC has officially listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange, marking a great milestone in the company's growth. The indigenous downstream petroleum company has listed 640 million ordinary shares in what is being described as one of the most significant capital raises in recent years. Here's more in this report.
Petroleum Holdings PLC has officially listed 640 million ordinary shares on the Ghana Stock Exchange, marking a major step in its growth journey. Speaking at the listing event, Managing Director of Petroleum Holdings PLC, William Terrier, described the company's listing on the Ghana Stock Exchange as a significant turning point in its growth journey.
By listing on the Ghana Stock Exchange, we're opening our doors to the investing public and making a clear statement. Zen is not just a company built by a few. It's a company that is owned by many and one that contributes meaningfully to Ghana's economic future.
He also reaffirmed the company's commitment to delivering long-term value to investors while contributing to Ghana's economic development.
To our investors, both present and future, we reaffirm our commitment to building a company that you can trust, one that delivers value consistently, and one that Ghanaians can be proud of.
The listing of Petroleum is expected to deepen participation on the Ghana Stock Exchange while offering investors another opportunity to tap into Ghana's growing energy sector.
In another development, the Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa has urged government to integrate financial literacy into Ghana's educational curriculum to promote wealth creation and economic growth. Executive Director of the Center, Peter Asarinyako, highlighted the organization's impact over the years as it pushes for stronger financial education to drive wealth creation and inclusion in Ghana. He spoke at the 5th National Financial Awareness and Financial Literacy Conference in Accra.
Over the period of these 5 years, we've seen people who had no idea what insurance was, what kind of investment they should do. And through our education and awareness, now we have a lot of people who are now doing investments, people who understand insurance and actually getting the right insurance policies. Recently, I chanced on social studies and I realized financial literacy has been inculcated in the syllabus. And so government is doing their part, but I think they can do more. Let's make financial literacy a subject, yes, on its own in our educational system.
That was the Executive Director of the Center, Peter Sarenyako. Now, the Chief Corporate Services and Sustainability Officer of MTN, Adjoa Wiafe, says the Bright Scholarship Program, which was developed by the MTN to support brilliant but needy students in a tertiary school, is being leveraged to grow a strong pipeline for digitally skilled talent to meet future job demands. Speaking in an interview at the MTN launch of the Bright Scholarship Program in Accra, she explains that the initiative focuses on STEM, ICT education, and gender inclusion to support Ghana's digital economy.
The Bright Scholarship really focuses on digital education, ICT education, because as a technology company, we as MTN want to ensure that we are building the pipeline for the future of potential employees for the future, and we need to ensure that given where we are going now, that the youth of today or those who are graduating from school are enabled to be able to take up jobs that will come in the future. Now we are talking about AI, we are talking about wherever you go, if you don't have digital skills, it becomes very difficult for you to maneuver and for you to work.
Adjoa Wiafe is the Chief Corporate Services and Sustainability Officer at MTN Ghana. That is the end of the business news on Newsnight. My name is Winston Taki. Over to Gemma and Kenneth.
Thank you very much, Winston. The Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, is warning persistent outages could trigger job losses as erratic power supply in parts of the country disrupts production and drives up costs. Manufacturers say unplanned cuts are damaging equipment and causing waste. Chairman for Economic Affairs Committee at AGI, Eric Defo, says the impact on businesses is already being felt.
Molten pellets just contract, they dry up, and if you heat them again, the product changes, so it can cause wastage. Our industry runs on power, so when there are disruptions to the power supply, it affects the industry. Basically, we plan production, and therefore when you plan production and then there are disruptions to the plan, the net effect is your costs go up because, one, you don't maximize the use of labor. Sometimes there are production cycles where raw materials in process get damaged. For example, if you're doing plastics or packaging, and in the middle of your thermal heating of plastic pellets, you get power going off. Sometimes the molten pellets just contract, they dry up, and if you heat them again, the product changes, so it can cause wastage.
For residents in affected communities, the outages are hitting even closer to home.
It is Saturday. You do not show too much.
Ongoing power outages are seriously affecting us. My fridge has stopped working and I've lost cartons of fish because they've all gone bad. I'm pleading with the government to intervene and bring stability to the electricity supply. It's been on and off since Saturday and it's really making it difficult for us to work and provide for our children. The way the power outages are happening is very frustrating. At least we should be informed ahead of time so we can prepare, like leaving our fridges on over time to keep drinks cold. Today alone, the light has been going on and off with low current, and it has affected my fridge to the point I had to call a technician. The situation keeps repeating and could damage our appliances. Over the weekend, we were without power from Saturday night till Sunday morning, and even after it returned, it went off again until later in the day. Today too, it has gone off about 4 times already. Because of this, I am losing customers since my drinks and water are not cold. I'm pleading with the authorities to fix this problem once and for all.
Kaje 3 days mine wo be jole kra ye kam to akuto nem.
Since Saturday, the power situation has been very uncomfortable for us. From this morning when I came to work, I haven't been able to sit comfortably because the heat in my shop. Without electricity, the place is too hot. It's making it difficult to work.
Let's do sports. Daniel Cranton is here with the latest.
We start off with the Premier League, where Chelsea have sacked their head coach Liam Rosinio after just 106 days in charge of the club. Rosinio had signed a 5.5-year deal arriving from French club Strasbourg, also owned by Chelsea co-owners Todd Bowley and Clearly Capital, but he managed just 11 wins in 23 matches across all competition, and yesterday's 3-0 defeat at Brighton was Chelsea's 5th consecutive league defeat without scoring. It was just a club's worst scoreless run since 1912. Rosinio described the performance as indefensible and unacceptable after facing angry chants from Chelsea fans at the stadium. The defeat led to Chelsea slip into 7th in the Premier League table, 7 points behind Liverpool, who occupy the 5th and the final Champions League spot. Moving on, Carlos Queiroz will be officially unveiled as a new Black Stars head coach tomorrow in Accra. Queiroz will use the platform to share his vision for the team, outline his technical philosophy, and answer questions from the press ahead of this year's FIFA World Cup in Canada, Mexico, and the United States. The unveiling, according to the GFA, will provide an opportunity to formally introduce the coach to the Ghanaian public and set expectations for the FIFA World Cup campaign and foster alignment between the technical team, the media, and supporters. And the press conference will be live on Joy Prime, Joy News, and Joy FM from 1 p.m. tomorrow. That's all for sports. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much.
Well, there's Amma, a nursing mother, and her 7-month-old baby who narrowly escaped death after violent sea waves struck their home in Xiabu while they slept. She now lives in constant fear that the sea could destroy her home and kill her family. Emmanuel Juvenu has more in Joy News series When the Sea Comes Home.
Amma sits outside her home, washing clothes and watching the sea just few meters away. Her house is less than 30 meters away from the shoreline, and each day, the sea moves nearer. Just few weeks ago, the wave struck at night and nearly killed her and her 7-month-old baby.
It was raining when it happened. I was in the room with my baby. When I heard a loud sound, I quickly picked her up and ran to another woman's room for safety. If I had money, I would leave this area and rent somewhere else.
Amma has lived here for the past 3 years, and in that time, the sea has swallowed the land in front of her home.
Used to be a vast stretch of land between our house and the sea. Children used to play there, but most of it is gone. Between June and July, the sea comes in and covers the entire area. It's very scary.
Xiabu is one of the hardest hit coastal communities in Accra. Hundreds of homes have been swallowed by the sea. Some families have left, but many cannot afford to go.
We cannot move unless the sea comes before, because we don't have any place and we move. And we don't have any money to go and rent another apartment. We are waiting for the Lord.
Along the shore, broken buildings sit along the edge of the sea. Walls are cracked and foundations are exposed. Some homes are already gone.
We're calling on government to come and help us here at Xiabu. Several buildings have collapsed along this stretch. This is not how this place used to be. The sea defense at Cliffey has pushed the wave to our area.
Residents believe the construction of the sea defense at Glapper, about 2 kilometers away, shifted the pressure to Xiabu.
We are telling Ghana that come and do this thing for us.
We are appealing to government to come and assist us here at Shiabu.
Residents of Shiabu are asking for a chance to stay, but with every wave, that chance is slipping away. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News, Shiabu, Accra.
The floods are gone, but the suffering isn't. Months after disaster hits North Tong, hundreds of families are still trapped in overcrowded and safe temporary shelters. A Joy News visit to Mepe, Bator and nearby communities found worsening conditions and rising health risks. Displaced residents say they lack basic needs such as clean water, toilets and privacy. NATMO and partners are providing support, and authorities say work is underway to move families into permanent, decent homes. But for many, the wait is taking a toll. Ivy Setoji has more in climate evidence.
Shelters are overcrowded and unsafe at Mepe and its surrounding communities. Families harder under leaking roofs as privacy here is almost non-existent. A new and dangerous threat is emerging. Malaria cases are rising, diarrhea diseases are spreading, and fear of a cholera outbreak continue to grow. The impact is hitting women and children the hardest. Some girls are missing school, some permanently, while mothers struggle to meet basic needs. Some residents have been speaking on the issue.
During the rain season, though the tent is torn, so if the rain falls, there's a leakage, so a lot of people cannot sleep inside. And moreover, if the sun is shining, hotness, so the skin rashes is another factor disturbing a lot of people. And the reptiles are also warriors, especially snake. And the water we are facing water challenges.
The situation regarding my children's education has become deeply concerning due to our financial difficulties. We are currently unable to adequately support their schooling, which has affected their academic performance and regular attendance.
Professor Jirab Albert Yiran, a professor at the University of Ghana, calling for a more coordinated and sustained response, one that prioritizes both immediate relief and long-term resilience.
So government needs to put in certain steps, that is putting up health facilities somewhere. Now with the current system, if government is going to rebuild, it might take a very long time to be able to build that. So what government could do is to begin to look at a mobile health system where if such an event should occur, they can kick in the mobile to be able to manage the health-related facilities. Also look for nearby schools that are away from the risk zones, so they can provide buses that will fare the children from where they are temporarily located.
Ivy Satoji, Joy News.
This story is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from CLARE R4I Opportunities Fund.
And just before we go, the Ghana AIDS Commission says the country is likely to be less affected by the potential surge in global condom prices following an announcement by the world's largest condom manufacturer, Carex, that prices may jump by 30% or more if the Iran war continues to disrupt supplies of key raw materials. However, the Commission explains that condoms produced by Carex are not dominant on the Ghanaian market. And we've been hearing from some Ghanaians since the news broke out that condom prices could increase by as much as 30%. Listen to them.
Everybody, include our leaders, our president, or everybody is going to get disease. Age, gono, what and what, better increase something else, but not condom. To me, condom like this is supposed to be 1 cedi and 50 pesos or free.
People are not even patronizing the condom very well because of the prices. So if you intend to increase it further, it means people are going to do away with condom, and they will have so much health implications a lot of unwanted pregnancy. People are not even patronizing the condom very well because of the prices. So if you intend to increase it further, it means people are going to do away with condom, and they will have so much health implications. A lot of unwanted pregnancy.
Interesting submissions there. This is a day I would have loved to read the messages of our listeners, but unfortunately we are having troubles with our WhatsApp console. But that's it for News 9. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
My name is Gemma. Appiah.
Up next is Strong and Sassy, and Akofa is here. Akofa, who is your guest tonight?
Hey Kenneth. So my guest is Talata. I'm pretty sure you have seen what is being projected over there. No, but so Talata
I wanted you to pronounce all her names.
So Talata will do us the honors of mentioning, the entire thing. But I wanted to find out from you whether you have heard of endometriosis before.
No.
Yeah, so it's a condition that some women, suffer, and when it usually happens to them, they like to assume that it is, painful cramps, because we're told that, when you're going through your period, you have to feel a certain level of pain and everything, but it ends up being something else. So she's here to tell us her story, and we'll get to learn a thing or two from it.
I'll be listening just to hear how she pronounces
her name. Yeah.
What a unique name she's got.
It is.